Citizenship. Citizenship. What does citizenship mean, and what does it mean to be a good citizen? Now, the word citizenship is a word that, like any word, has a root, citizen. However, due to this word's complexity, a lot of people lose the meaning of citizenship. This video is for me to you to present my idea of citizenship. Now, this mainly surfaced in my mind due to reading the thoughts, teachings, writings, and ideas of Martha Nussbaum and James Baldwin. And in reading these different readings that talked about the same concept, citizenship, I saw this difference in its idea. One's perspective was about being alone and how that develops a self-identity, which allows you to associate with a group, creating the concept of being together. While in the end, you are alone, just like in birth, death, and love. One cannot see their own face, yet your loved ones can, and even your enemies can. So the one job you have to do, according to Baldwin's writings, is figure out who you are. And as an artist, you have your own essentially laboratory, and you're in this test tube where you constantly have to take yourself out of the equation, which allows you to identify who you are, and then it becomes your responsibility after finding out who you are to help others find out who they are. Once they figure out what being alone means for themselves, that creates a community. Nussbaum, on the other hand, speaks on the idea that citizenship does not happen in one group. It is not a dyadic thought process. The thought of me, you, or us versus them creates a wall, a barrier. Not a linguistic barrier, but a barrier nonetheless that separates your ability to see others empathically. Nussbaum poses the idea that Baldwin is not incorrect in the fact that we begin with a sense of self, but with narrative imagination, we can visit someone else's self while being separate in our own self, which allows us to get close to this line known as understanding. We can never see things truly as someone else sees them. However, as we border this line, we approach citizenship, which is why citizenship is not something that is self-sustaining. Citizenship is something that has to actively be marched towards because it is such a well of a concept. Now, my definition of citizenship, when I think of what it means to be a citizen, a good citizen at that, I think of the word hero. This is because a hero sees an obligation to give 100% of what they have to a cause to see a future that they want to see come to fruition, even if they themselves cannot see this future. For some, this is recycling. For others, this is rescuing animals. For others, this is taking people into their home. And for others, this is marching. But the problem arises when we take our own individual meaning of citizenship and try to force that onto someone else. That in itself is creating a us versus them conversation. And that creates that barrier that takes away from the contribution that citizenship is and makes it an egocentric idea that you are enforcing onto another. Now, to me, citizenship constitutes being a hero because when we look at heroes in the real world, veterinarians, cops, teachers, heart surgeons, we don't look at who contributes more. We look at the fact that they contributed and that makes them a good citizen because they are a hero. We look at the outcome, the future that they're marching towards, saving and or helping someone outside of their group, outside of their person. This can be a group of ethnics, religion, practices, traditions. That is what citizenship is to me. Being a hero, providing a service, taking action for someone other than yourself, knowing that you can never understand how much they appreciate or understand what your action contributed to them. Giving your 100% when you have 10% left is the same as giving 10%. And in this well known as citizenship, any drop that you put in that well fills that well up. So your 10% is equivalent to someone else's 100%. Just like lives, you can't put a value on what it means to be a citizen because when one is a good citizen, they contribute to everyone else's citizenship. So in being a hero, being a good citizen, you keep citizenship alive, as it is not self-sustaining. Remember, use your narrative imagination, stay a good citizen.